are content creators talking about the issues that are important to younger voters?
I think this is so funny because it's like my entire existence here, and I think that's what like the DNC might have been thinking of is a direct counter to this narrative. You know what I mean? Yesterday's tank top is doing numbers.
President
what is this?
Business stole the Kraggle, the most powerful object in the universe.
Blah, blah, blah. Proper name, place name, backstory stuff.
President
Nice.
Business.
Played his own thirst traps, Lamont. Welcome to the show. This is what we do. Can you catch the NPR mention? Wait, really?
Mainstream journalists are not the only ones with press
What
credentials
point?
at the Democratic convention. For the first time, social media influencers have convention press passes too. Prominent influencers include Hassan Piker, who has over 2.7 million followers on Twitch.
What the hell, bro? That's crazy. I did not see the morning edition this
Do
morning.
you think we should vote blue no matter who? Genuine question. It don't matter. Do whatever you want. Definitely vote though, especially down ballot, and especially for your local elections. Participate in the democratic process. That is very meaningful.
One of the messages from influencers. Wired Magazine's McKenna Kelly has been covering political influencers since 2018, and she is at the Democratic Convention in Chicago. I assume you have a press pass, right?
I do, yep. It's kind of similar accreditation to what many of those influencers have.
Okay, is there any clear line between an influencer and a traditional journalist?
I think that line is getting blurrier the more
I'm muting myself. I'm doing push to talk over here. The noise gate is not working because the band is literally next to me. Okay, like not the flex, but I'm straight up on top of the band. Like I cannot be physically closer. Sure, Mike Hasanabi edition. What do you mean? What? I'm doing ads out here for sure, Mike. Okay. Anyway, here.
time passes, especially during this election, I think the main difference between a news influencer and a journalist like myself and you is that we do reporting, right? We are part of the process of digging up new information, whereas a lot of what news influencers do is taking headlines, screen grabs of them, and sitting in front of them green screen style and reading off the news to their followers.
That's a fair point. And in some cases, what they're saying is, here is something the media will not tell.
Okay. Chill. She made it seem like I'm just like I'm one of these TikTokers that does the green screen style. Like, look at this headline. That's crazy. Okay. I thought we were friends. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. I feel a little bit, I don't think that's what I do. I mean, I go through articles. I'm not a headline Andy. You know what I mean? I am not a journalist though. I mean, that's something that I do actually mention quite frequently. And I do give props to mainstream media in general as well. You know, bro said react harder. NPR said react harder.
Tell you, and then they cite the article, or they read from the article that the media told them. With that said, though, they have huge audiences and can speak credibly to people, especially younger people, in a way that maybe a lot of journalists can't. Isn't that right?
Yes, and I think that's exactly what the Democrats are hoping to do by bringing around, I think it's 200 influencers who are here and credentialed for this convention. And again, the RNC also had creators at their convention as well, but that was only about 70 of them. So this is definitely an important voting bloc to both parties, and they see these influencers as a significant part in their strategy to reach them.
Have you been sampling some of their content?
Yes, I have. Yesterday, I followed a couple of folks around. There is a news creator named Philip DeFranco who has millions of followers. He's like an OG YouTuber. And I went up into the broadcast suite that they have opened up for creators that they can book time, you know, similar to what CNN and Fox News have. And I followed Representative Ro Khanna from California up there.
Bro, that's crazy. Even she's glazing Philly D, man. Just like my brother. God damn it. I'm getting cucked by Philly again.
And they just had this interview set up where Philly was able to record, you know, this thing for his own show that will probably go up later this week. Hassan Piker, of course, that you just brought up, I followed him around too, and he brought his cameras upstairs in this broadcast studio and just sat with lawmakers for, you know, maybe 15, 20 minutes and had those kinds of conversations which you clipped at the beginning.
Are they being co-opted by the Democrats, or are these independent people who are bringing their own questions and their own opinions?
Yeah, I mean, co-opted, I'm not sure if that's really the right word for it, but these people many of them have been at this for a very long time. Philip DeFranco, like I just mentioned, he has been doing this since like the beginning of YouTube.
I'm compromised with the Democratic Party. I'm a Democratic Party op.
In the 2000s, the early 2000s. And Hassan, he's been doing this for several years as well. But I think the main difference here is that a lot of these influencers just aren't as critical of the administration, of the campaigns, as traditional journalists would be. For
Wait.
example, yesterday I met...
Ain't no way that I was mentioned, and then the follow-up was a lot of these influencers aren't as critical as mainstream. No shot. Like, okay, so that's a... Okay, listen. That I know she knows what my perspective is. I know because I did an interview with her. She's a Wired reporter. She's also with the NPR, right? She knows I'm hypercritical. I literally just said I'm not a vote blue no matter who type person in the beginning of this article. I think she's talking about like Harry Sasson and whatnot. Okay, I think that's what it is. But like obviously, out of most of the creators here, like I probably am more critical of the Democratic Party than mainstream media is in general. But I think I just got kind of caught up in that same framework here.
A food reviewer who was supposed to be here at the DNC, and I saw him around the floor, and I asked him, okay, what question are you asking these people? And he said, well, I'm asking lawmakers what they think Kamala Harris and Trump would be if they were food dishes.
Well, I guess it would get interesting responses. With that said, I want to acknowledge...
Bro, I literally talked to Rokana about Israel, okay? I talked to Rokana about Israel and also called what Israel's doing a genocide. Like, there's no, like, I don't think they're talking about me, okay? I'm not talking about, like, what dishes. She shot a photo of you yesterday? Okay, stop. Thank God you went to that protest Monday and not the influencer. Dude, are you crazy? Come on. That's not gonna happen. That would have not happened anyway. You said what college you went to for pizza? No, because he said he went to college here and then followed it up with, where did you go? So I literally thought he was asking me what college I went to. Okay, calm down. All right, let's finish
It
this
says
off.
right in the Constitution you need no qualifications whatsoever, basically, to be a member of the press. So in that sense, I mean, I welcome to them. I mean, it's one more set of voices, and we'll see what they do.
Right, and I think similar to how the bloggers were brought in during the Bush administration, I like to be optimistic about these things. And when I look at what these news creators are doing, I think that us as journalists can probably take a lot of lessons from them, especially when it comes to community building.
McKenna Kelly of Wired, thanks so much.
Of course, yeah.
Rokana posted great talking about Hassan Nahan at the DNC about a progressive vision for our country. My mom's been tuning every single day since the Trump rally. You got the Midwest mom vote. Let's go. That's the one thing I actually that's the one thing I noticed is that I personally, like, I back in the day when we used to go to protests, we just see, like, people my age. Now, people my age are bringing their dads and their moms. Like, they're bringing their parents to the protests. Like, there was a bunch of people I talked to that were like, yeah, I put my mom and dad on your broadcast. Like, they watch it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, this is fun for the whole family. My mom watches your stream on mute and alone in her room. Not sure why she's so secretive about it. Okay, chill. I feel like social media influencers taking a prominent stage at the DNC is like a much larger deal by the media that also kind of feel like they're being forced out of the conversation a little bit. It doesn't bode well for my kind of coverage, even though, I have a somewhat of an antagonistic relationship with outlets in general. I am hypercritical of them, but I also do give them big props every time I talk to them, whether it be talking to CNN yesterday when I was having a convo with Dhoni about the importance of mainstream outlets doing great journalism, how I have a lot of friends that are investigative reporters in these mainstream outlets doing great journalism. You know what I mean? Like, this is a symbiotic relationship. It wouldn't work without the other side. So I do hope that they don't consider me to be someone who is just like participating in the new wave that is like basically out competing mainstream media. I don't think we are. That's why they don't like TikTok and Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I am. Dhoni is my cousin. Wait, really? Yeah, Ed Markey tweeted this as well. This was beautiful. his team is aware of who I am, obviously. When I hosted my first Twitch stream, Hassan the Hunt surprised me by tuning in. Today, I got to surprise him at the DNC. Thanks for having me. Let's do it again. Let's get to the social media influencers' take on the DNC.
For the first time ever, the DNC has given credentials, usually reserved for traditional press, to social media personalities.
Well, I'm a content creator. I make videos on TikTok in Spanish for the Latino immigrant community here in the United States. I do my content in Spanish, but I talk about politics, social issues, and all that.
Carlos Eduardo Espina has more than 10 million followers on TikTok.
Damn.
In another DNC first, he's taking center stage as a speaker.
I think nowadays, left and right are getting their information on social media, so it's
Bro,
important.
how come he's on the floor? I'm not on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I never got my ass on the floor. They haven't given me floor access yet. You know what I'm saying? There's other people who are popping. Maybe I should have had the Hotties for Harris party was popping. Yeah, dude, I was taking my hot ass over to my hotel room to fall asleep. It's because you're not lived up enough. No, I mean we had one floor pass. We just need two because you're not wearing a suit. No, that doesn't matter. What is this? These journalists versus creators squabbles I keep hearing around the DNC need to end. Both groups need to unite in around the true atrocity of this convention, which is that the United Center are only serving Pepsi products. Oh my God, he spoke to my soul with this one. He spoke to my soul with this one. Speaking truth to power.
Important to have people like us here so we can take that message directly to the audience who might
You're going to watch the Women Dem Governor panel in an hour? No.
not see the convention on television or on traditional news.
Though the convention is its typical star-studded affair, the DNC this year is hoping to connect with voters beyond the reach of traditional media.
Look, I'm someone who absolutely loved Joe Biden, but I'm also a woman who is completely psyched for the idea of a Kamala Harris presidency.
This is influencer Lee McGowan.
So I started this project as a way to re-engage people with American politics because I think American politics is so exciting and so wonderful, and I know that we can make such a big difference.
Democrats are stepping up efforts to counter Donald Trump's social media machine and viral videos in what polls show could be an extremely close race between the two candidates.
Breaking gay news, we are here at the Democratic National Convention.
Josh Helfgott, an LGBTQ+ advocate, says he's grateful that Harris...
Bro, is this how I look like to the outside world when I'm doing my news commentary? Is this what it looks like, bro? I'm so cooked.
Harris's team sees the value of creators.
It's about time. Creators are like a huge messenger in the news economy today. We share stories with the public just like news anchors do, and in many ways, indisputably, we reach more people.
For the first time ever, more than 200 content creators have been given credentials, like press credentials, to attend and cover the Democratic National Convention.
I'm gonna be honest, I do breaking gay news every day when I flex my pits on the timeline. I don't have to say breaking gay news. I live it. You know what I mean? I'm breaking the gays every time I do that.
The move comes as Democrats continue to try and reach out to young voters. And while polling shows many 18 to 29-year-old voters are leaning in favor of the Democratic nominee, some are worried the enthusiasm behind...
Did it actually F? Like, what are you talking about? There is no F. Oh, this is what I was doing, bro. This is what I saw this. Dude, it's so funny how everyone is like locked in. They're listening to Obama. They're listening to Obama. I'm looking the exact opposite direction, locked in, doing the damn thing, okay? Doing the damn thing. Just turned around. Everyone thinks you're insane. No, I think like if there's one group of people who know what the I'm doing there, it's literally the influencers. So they're aware of what I'm doing. I don't think the journalists fully understand what I'm doing unless they're my friends and they're like not oblivious to what I do. I don't have a solo room this time, but I do have, I'm in a different spot. I'm in a different spot this time, but but like it's a balcony. I'm in a wide open space directly in the middle of the convention hall, in the convention center. And I am an influencer. Caillou being demure at the creator lounge.
Cute welcome sign. This is our little box. Twitch streamer being very demure. We have a nice little mural.
As me, I'm
Cute
demure.
welcome sign.
As me, I'm being demure. Very mindful, very demure. I'd imagine the influencers find it funny they didn't give you a room. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't care. I think it worked in my favor. Like, we're making the most of it. Obviously, we know how to roll with the punches. Give March flowers. I thought you streaming IRL would look weird and awkward, but he does a really good job. Yeah, if it wasn't for March's camera work, it would be looking weird and awkward, because obviously me holding the camera and also trying to handle everything else is like virtually impossible. The thing is, like, the problem is, like, that shit breaks down anyway, and I also have to, when it breaks down in real time, fix it myself. So that breaks the seamless way in which we can cut content. That also breaks the seamless way in which we can cut content. That also is weird to all the other people that are not aware of all of the other factors that go into it. Sometimes when I'm literally streaming and I have to stop when I'm doing an IRL stream, I have to stop and talk to March and be like, yo, can you move around so I can see like what the bit rate looks like? People around me are like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? They don't know what that is. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh, my hair is so bad today. I just really let it rip every time. I need to fix this shit. Let's get back to the influencer conversation. The influencer drama. Shit is heated. I didn't even know it was happening.
Kamala Harris may not actually guarantee turnout on Election Day. So Kalen Allen is joining us. He is one of those content creators at the DNC, and he's previously participated in social media strategy sessions with the Biden administration. You know, Kalen, it's always good to see you. I gotta admit, I'm a little jelly. I mean, you're living your best life. Last time we spoke to you about Beyonce. Now you're at the DNC, and it looked like one heck of a party last night. So creators are there, and they have those official badges, just like journalists. They have access that many sort of legacy media members are going to have, including VIP interviews and studio space. How are you seeing this play out? What are you seeing other content creators and influencers doing, and what do you make of this strategy?
You know, personally, I think that the strategy is absolutely brilliant. I have had a front row seat to watching these creators actually activate.
There's something so funny about this, because like whenever they ask me about this stuff, and they do quite frequently, a bunch of the interviews that I did before the DNC, people have asked me about it since like the Aiden Ross Twitch streaming thing. I always say the same thing. Okay? I always say the same thing. I don't think it's gonna push the needle. Okay? I don't care about like politicians collaborating with influencers. I care about their policies, and I think Americans care about their policies, and that they should communicate their policies better. Now, if they do that while they're communicating with an influencer, that's great. But like overall, people should vote for something, not against the other party. It's not team sports. It's about improving people's lives, improving people's material conditions. So, that's what I stick to every time. Obviously, it's a little self-serving for me to turn around and be like, yeah, it's great. They should always do influencer beats. Like, they should really talk to these influencer beats. It's like, they should really talk to these influencers. Like, yeah, no, we have big audiences. We obviously have very passionate fan bases. We can maybe change their minds as well. But like, I can't speak for other content creators, but I can speak for myself. I'm not going to like push people in one direction if I don't personally believe in it. Okay?
And mobilize in ways that I've never seen us been able to have access before. I mean, they are absolutely working. And I think what is great about this is that we are meeting young voters where they are. But I think it even also expands.
That's also part of the reason why. I don't like wearing like a Harris Waltz hat. You know what I mean? Like, or a Brad sticker. You know what I mean?
It's far past young voters, but also the parents of these voters. And I think that is absolutely amazing.
Clearly it's not just the use of, I was thinking about the use of influencers and content creators like you. And one of the things that you have is this incredible reach, and you don't cost very much. You know what I mean? You make the content that would probably cost millions of dollars.
Bro, you wear Trump hats all the time. Just say it's ironic. It's different. The reason why it's different is because I'm here. I'm at the DNC, and I'm literally here as a welcomed guest of the DNC. So if I'm like that looks like an endorsement. Obviously, when I wear the Trump hat, that's not a endorsement. You know what I mean? Like, even if I was at the RNC as a welcome guest at the RNC, that's not and I wore a Trump hat, that will still not be considered an endorsement. Okay, there is obviously a difference between like me wearing a Trump hat, which is obviously ironic. Everybody knows I'm playing a character, versus like me wearing a Harris Waltz hat, in my opinion.
For the.
Are you endorsing Kamala by proxy? Yeah, I'm endorsing Kamala by proxy in the same way that Jake Tapper is endorsing Kamala Harris by proxy by being here. Okay, or Mehdi Hassan is endorsing Kamala Harris by proxy by being here. Or Ryan Grimm is endorsing Kamala Harris by proxy by being here. People ask me all the time, do you endorse Kamala Harris on the Harris Waltz ticket? And I always tell them the same thing. Wait and see. I'm waiting and I'm seeing. There's a lot more that I need to see in terms of like what they're communicating to the public and what they are genuinely interested in doing. Okay. I don't want Donald Trump to win. That is obvious. I mean, I don't have a issue stating that reality. I think Donald Trump is a menace and awful. I think most Republicans in general are menaces and awful. Yeah, it's like Charlie Kirk is endorsing Kamala Harris by being here.
Party to make. I'm wondering, though, if the content has content. If you get what my drift is the content, you know, here's what they're eating at the DNC. Oh my God, I just saw Lil Jon. Or are content creators talking about the issues that are important to younger voters?
I think this is so funny because it's like my entire existence here, and I think that's what like the DNC might have been thinking of, is like is a direct counter to this narrative. You know what I mean? Like, it's a direct counter to this narrative that this question is presenting. It is a slanted question with a narrative hidden in it. Okay, there's an underlying premise here.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing that I want to make sure that I emphasize is that there are a wide range of content creators, and everyone was brought here for a purpose. And what I've seen is that the content creators that were selected are people that actually have platforms that they have actually structured around, like policy and different political activations and conversations. So I think there's a lot of intention and purpose behind there. And of course, you have some people that are here just for the experience, but for the majority, these are people that actually talk about these topics on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm. And what is your take on how the Harris campaign has been doing? You know, for a while there was kind of a suggestion that, you know, Harris was kind of, that this was a sugar high and Harris isn't really talking about policy at all. Are you seeing the campaign bring up issues that are important to young people? And what are some of those issues?
Oh, absolutely. I think when it comes to the actual policy, what is great about especially how they have incorporated content creators is that we have all been provided with a lot of messaging. We have been provided with a lot of the facts and details that comes with the campaign, so that we can be the catalyst for that information. You know what I mean? And I know last time that I was there, we discussed about how the campaign was trying to figure it out because it was so last minute that they were thrown into it. And I think what they've been doing is really doing trial and error and figuring out what.
You can see me behind Chris Wallace on the CNN broadcast. Yo, we gotta look at that. We gotta look at that. Holy shit, shut up. Wait.
Vice President Harris and President Biden, their entire administration has been focused on making sure that we have a negotiated ceasefire deal that includes a release of the hostages, that includes robust humanitarian aid for civilians Palestinian civilians, and making sure that we are putting the Middle East region on a path to long-term peace. That is not a change. And so hopefully there is a deal on the table that we are very close to, except former President Trump is doing everything he can to undermine that deal.
You can't see me, and also it's not in real time anyway.
What works, but I think what is great, especially with their social media presence, is that they are able to actively be on the topic as it happens, and that you don't have to wait to get the information later on.
So tomorrow you're actually going to be participating in a live roundtable discussion. It's called The Youth Vote. Are we losing the next generation? And it's for the Congressional Black Caucus and Rolling Sea Action Fund. Can you tell us a little bit about this panel and what you hope to be discussing?
Yes, absolutely. So there will be multiple panels, and I will be sitting on that one that you just mentioned. But what we will really be discussing, and I think my angle is that my thing is that I am all about teaching young voters to not rely on media to help them decide what they should do, and giving the resources of being able to do their own research and not letting media dictate how they should move. Because I do think that social media oftentimes can create a hive mentality, and I don't think that that is conducive to this election because we don't have a lot of time. So it's important important to be able to do your own research and make your own informed decision.
Yeah, that's really smart, Kaylin. Kaylin Allen, thank you very much. Have fun.
Okay. All right, let's talk about Israel-Palestine. Oh. God, I'm such a serious broadcaster.